Stay frosty and check out redzonecoins.com for the cheapest, fastest coins on the market. Use code DIRECTOR at checkout for 10% off. Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. What do we have here? Madden 21 X Factors and Superstar Abilities Deep Dive. Let's go! I feel like a lot of us have been waiting for the Superstar Abilities news to drop, so that's what we're going to do today. Madden fans, Madden Ultimate Team fans, how you guys doing? It's time to take a look at the Superstar Abilities. Now, I feel like, we've been seeing a lot of stuff for the X Factors the past couple of days with those, cards that look like comic book characters. But I think a lot of people are more interested in Superstar Abilities because they're passive, which means they're on all the time, and it's been really hard to activate X Factors in Madden 20, so they've been less of a priority for a lot of people. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going over the new Superstar Abilities. We're going to be going over some of the changes they've got with these new abilities, and this is pretty much the driving force behind Madden, in modern day franchise titles. Like the abilities, the Superstar Abilities, these are the things that really matter when it comes to head-to-head gameplay. So guys, before we get started, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot on the road to 20,000. Let's get into this video. All right, dudes. So I've read this entire article. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit so this video isn't forever long, and so you guys just don't sit here, listen to me read an article. Basically, a couple of things are changing. Pass rush, we've already seen a lot of stuff of them explaining. Basically, your pass rushers are going to have these little ticks under them, and the offensive linemen have these little ticks under them, and then it's kind of a game of cat and mouse, kind of managing these points, these resistance points and these rushing points, making sure that you've got the advantage against your opponent. And then there's certain players that have abilities to help with that on both sides of the ball. So that's pretty interesting, but we kind of heard about this already, and that's a big function. I feel like they want to get us off of the linebackers and safety users. They want us to try out the defensive line a little bit, and who knows how this is going to function, how this is going to work. But I mean, we've seen it a little bit in the beta. As far as I was concerned, it was neat, but at the same time, a lot more data is required as far as experiencing the game a little bit. Let's see, stamina and fatigue. This one's kind of big. I feel like stamina all of a sudden, a stat that a lot of us ignored in years past as far as Madden, might be a bigger thing this year. It feels like it's one of those things you're going to have to manage on the side, which I kind of like. If I have another element that I need to manage on both offense and defense, if you're good at managing it, chances are you're going to get another edge against your opponent. But at the same time, I don't want to see it go crazy. If all of a sudden, everybody's tired, nothing's working, that's where things might get a little bit bad. So hopefully they have a really good balance in that. It kind of feels that way. If they're going, by where the beta was feeling like, it feels like it's fine, but they're also introducing abilities that do affect stamina. So keep that in mind as we get down to the bottom. New X Factors. Now, X Factors, the first thing I do want to mention is that X Factors feel different this year. We've been getting these little previews with those superhero cards the past couple of days, and it feels like X Factors are a little bit easier to get into the zone this season, which is great because in years past it's been like, well, if your X Factor activates, chances are you're probably already winning the game. You probably have a good handle on your opponent, and all of a sudden you just got, buffed up even more. So hopefully being able to get into the zone a little bit quicker will shift the momentum of the game, back and forth like a real football game, and I think that would be more realistic and more fun, honestly. Rebalances, a big thing that you're going to see in the abilities down below, we'll get there in just a moment, are the route running and the zone abilities, and basically the coverage abilities. And basically what this means is, gone are the days of those specific routes, those corner routes with those abilities attached to them, corner route elite or whatever, and that would make it, super OP when you were able to audible into that route and stuff like that. Now they've changed it a little bit where it's more about the area of the field. So you got those deeps, you got those shorts and stuff like that, and that will result in better results from your wide receivers and even your cornerbacks, depending on the area of the field you're in and the ability attached to them. So you'll see DeAndre Hopkins here, short in elite, mid in elite. Those are the kind of things you'll be seeing in Madden 21. So keep that in mind. There's gonna be a lot of new abilities attached to that idea. Pass leading, this is something I wanted to work so bad in Madden 20, it just didn't. You put pass leading on any quarterback, they're gonna start overthrowing all of their targets. So instead of having it the way it was in Madden 20, they kind of changed it to where you get more speed, more velocity, more power in those throws. So guys like me who love pass leading, all of a sudden maybe it'll be effective in Madden 21. QB pressures, Again, they want us on the defensive line, which is interesting, but they had to tune things a little bit as far as abilities to make it work. And so there's big things in abilities that will make, you know, the quarterback it seem like they have a throw under pressure rating of 0 when it comes to the abilities of the pass rushers, and then vice versa. There'll be abilities that make the quarterback pretty much immune to pressure when it comes to their abilities too. So again, it's kind of another game of cat and mouse right there. And those are things that you'll see on the quarterback as we get a little bit closer. Then there's some X factors that turned into abilities from last year, like Fearless, that will affect the pressure of your quarterback, which is interesting. Powerful outliers. Some of the abilities from last year that got nerfed. Fast break is now nerfed. Thank God. Fast break now limits the quarterback to maneuvering in more restricted angles, so we should see less of that. Escape artist, also kind of crazy. Escape artist only provides its benefits if the user is close to full stamina. Like I said at the beginning, micromanaging your stamina through the game might be a new element to Madden 21 that you have to pay attention to. So very interesting to see that. It may make escape artist a little bit less OP than from what we saw in Madden 20. Dashing Deadeye, they put kind of like this restriction on it. Now the throws have to be under 40 yards, which is pretty good. So they're just taking these guys that were super dominant last year, nerfing them. Maybe new abilities will take their place in Madden 21. Weaker choices, and they gave some buffs to things like Pro Reads, Gambler, Blitz Radar, and stuff like that. And then they completely took out the Guru abilities. You know, your outside zone, your inside zone, those running back abilities that completely, you know, change the game. Those are gone, which I think is probably good. Rely more on the attributes of the halfbacks, I think, of those ratings. I think that's a little bit more fair, a little bit more fun. Let's get into these new X Factor abilities and stuff like that. So you guys have probably seen the new X Factor abilities on those comic book cards. I'm more interested in the superstar abilities, but we'll kind of look at a couple that I kind of like here. You know, Ankle Breaker is kind of interesting. Avalanche, there are tacklers, and then there are these guys. When they enter the zone, any successful hit stick made while running towards the line of scrimmage will result in the fumble. That's crazy. If you can get in the zone really easy with that one, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of really cool ones in here, but we'll go over maybe X Factors in a separate video. Let's go into the superstar abilities. Adrenaline Rush. Now, a lot of these new superstar abilities are going to have to do with that new pass rushing system with those points on the pass rushers and on the offensive linemen. So a lot of these are going to have to do with that. So keep that in mind. We'll kind of point them out so you guys can kind of get the idea, and then point out the other ones that are more unique. Pass rushers with this ability will have their pass rush move points restored after sacking a quarterback. So that one's pretty cool. I mean, again, we're going to have to kind of see how that affects gameplay before we start prioritizing which one of these, you know, points restored or points affected kind of abilities in Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team specifically, I think, is going to be pretty huge with this. BOGO defenders are guaranteed free pass rush moves once per play after spreading or spending a pass rush point. Very interesting. Balance Beam, avoid stumbling while carrying the ball. This is pretty much never stumble from like Madden 18. Bench press, this is one that affects the fatigue that we're talking about, which is very interesting. Fatigue is going to be something you have to manage. Chuck out, defenders with this ability apply bonus fatigue after successful zone chuck. So fatigue, again, gotta pay close attention to that. Closer, locker room prep talks go a long way. That's kind of helping get into the zone. Maybe stuff like this is more effective in Madden 21, just because it is a little bit easier to get into the zone this year. Same thing with comeback, basically the same thing. When you're playing from behind. Now, here are those abilities I was talking about as far as area of the field. So you got Deep in Elite. So while catching passes 20 plus yards from the line of scrimmage, that's basically the same thing with all these. Deep in Zone Knockout for your cornerbacks, defensive backs. Deep Out Elite, passes 20 plus yards. All of this stuff that's out elite, zone knockout, route knockout, this has to do with the area of the field. So deep's 20 yards plus, and so on. You guys will get the ideas. We'll keep going. Defensive Rally. Defenders with this ability grant bonus pass runs to all defensive linemen on 3rd and 4th down. I think this is going to be a big one too. If those points, you know, are as important as I'm thinking they are, having them to everybody on 3rd and 4th down might be the move. Double or nothing, pass rush moves with ability. Spend double the pass rush points to perform a move, but are granted dominant wins, which is interesting as well. And maybe you can pair this double or nothing with another ability that gives you extra points. It rewards you for, you know, successful pass rush moves or whatever. El Toro defenders with this ability receive dominant bull rush wins with their pass rush points are full. So again, micromanaging, that's very important. Energizer, we've seen this in Madden before. You know, you get more stamina with a successful ball carrier moves. Extra credit, pass rush with this ability are granted an additional maximum pass rush move point. So again, those points are kind of being managed. Then you got these knockouts. Fool Me Once. This is for your offensive linemen. Now, one big question I want to ask you guys in the chat: How many abilities do you think we're gonna see in Madden Ultimate Team? How many players will you be allowed to add these abilities to on offense and defense? In Madden 20, it was 3 on offense and 3 on different defense for a max of 6 total players. And then I think you had 1 on special teams as well. If the pass rush is as dominant as they're hoping it is, especially if you're using it, do you guys think they may add, you know, 1 or 2 offensive linemen, 1 or 2 defensive linemen to the pool of available players that you can put as X Factors or Superstars? Maybe even a kind of a mix of both. You can have like 3 X Factors on both sides of the ball, maybe 2 Superstars on both sides of the ball as well. I don't know, man. It just feels like these abilities here you may never see in Ultimate Team, because nobody wants to put abilities on their offensive linemen, and at the same time, if there's no abilities there, those user pass rushers are going to go crazy. And it almost feels like if you don't have both of your offensive tackles with abilities, that no matter what, you're screwed. If you have, like, let's say your left tackle, you know, with fool me once or whatever, you know, just kind of like pass protect elite or whatever, like from last year. All you got to do is take your superstar on defense, let's say Joey Bosa, and move him from one side to the other, whichever side that your opponent's superstar offensive lineman is not. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that works in MUT. Instant rebate. So again, it has to do with the points. Lifeguard Blocks with this ability to defend against swim moves, rush moves, as if they had additional resistance points. So a lot of these guys, most of these I would say have to do with these points and these new areas of the field as far as what the ability is. Matador, blockers with this ability have stronger protection against dominant bull rush moves attempted by defenders. Very interesting. You got your medium route knockout. Then you got your mid in elite. I can see the mid in and the mid out elite abilities being pretty good in Madden 21. Mr. Big Stop, defenders with his ability will start at and third or fourth down with at least half of their maximum pass rush moves. Wow, that was a mouthful. Sorry, guys. Natural talent blockers with this ability start every new blocking encounter with built-in resistance. Interesting. One step ahead, defenders with this ability generally react much faster to receiver cut moves. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. A couple that I really like right here: quick draw, basically faster passing animations when throwing under pressure. Reach for it, I think should probably be on most players. I didn't think I would like this as much. This is that animation where your guy's reaching for the pylon, reaching for the first down in certain situations that dictate for it. And I found that it was actually quite nice. I think Austin Eckler had it, and I shouldn't say he does have it. It was in the trailer, but one of the guys in the beta actually had it, and it was really, really nice being able to reach for that first down. Normally, what would be considered 3rd and inches or 3rd and 1 in a lot of situations, Madden 20 turned into a first down. So I don't know, man. I think this is one of my favorites I saw in the beta. We'll have to wait and see. Screen Protector, there's a specific ability to help against screens, so I'm guessing screens are going to be really good this year. In the beta, they were awesome. Second Wind has to do with their stamina. You got your short, elite, your routes and area of the field kind of stuff. Speedster, defenders with this ability will ignore 1 bar of blocker resistance. Spinner, Stonewall, Swim Club, Terror Proof, a lot of these, against the pass rush. Unpredictable. So a lot of this, guys, you can check out, in the article for yourselves. I'll put a link in the description. What's next right here? Our next Gridiron Notes will be on Tuesday, August 18th, and we'll focus on Madden Ultimate Team for Madden 21. So what, in a week and a half? 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Holy crap, dudes. That's going to be insane. So my biggest thing here, guys, with this, when you're checking this out, what are some of the biggest new superstar abilities that you're excited for? Which are some of the abilities that would pair very well with each other? I think it's really exciting to see, the possibilities that you have, especially with those resistance moves and stuff like that, or those pass rush points, those point systems. Maybe if you combine a couple of them together in a specific way, it'll turn a guy like Joey Bosa into an absolute beast out there, especially if you're considering using him a lot, which maybe, I don't know. I don't love the idea of using my defensive lineman, but if I can combine some abilities to make him extra effective, I'll definitely consider it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. Like and sub if you did find this video informative. We'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay frosty.